who inherited the money of the biggest 20th century stars. 1. George Michael, $118 million. Michael's estate was split between his father and sisters. The singer had been dating Fatih Fawaz, but Michael didn't put him in his will. Fawaz moved into one of Michael's homes as a squatter. After a long court battle, he was awarded a monthly stipend of $15,000. 2. Elvis Presley, $5 million. All of Elvis's money went to his daughter, Lisa Marie. She was only 9, so her inheritance was held in trust. Lisa Marie got the money when she turned 25. She invested it in Graceland, turning it into a museum. When she died, Lisa Marie was worth $16 million. 3. Michael Jackson, $482 million. After Michael's death, there was a protracted battle. His estate went through 12 reevaluations. The final appraisal came out to just 23% of its initial value. In 2021, a sum of $111 million was agreed upon. It was divided among Michael's mother and 3 children. 4. Bing Crosby, $60 million. Crosby set up a trust before his death. His will was incredibly detailed regarding his 7 children. Crosby left unusual instructions. None of them would be able to access the trust until they turned 65. He didn't want them to get in trouble. Sadly, some of Crosby's kids didn't live that long. 5. Whitney Houston, $40 million. Houston's estate first had to settle a $20 million debt. The remaining $20 million was meant for her only child, Bobby Christina Brown. It was placed in trust to be released in increments. But in 2015, Brown died at 22. The estate was divided among Houston's mother and 2 brothers. 6. Prince, $156.4 million. The singer's heirs spent $45 million on court battles. The final appraisal was made in 2022. The money was split in half. 50% went to Prince's 3 siblings. The other half went to a publishing company. 7. Sonny Bono, $2 million. Sonny died without writing a will. He was survived by 4 ex-wives and 3 children. His 4th wife, Mary Whitaker, fought Cher in the courts. Eventually, the money was divided between Mary and 2 of the children. One of them was Sonny and Cher's son, Ches. 8. Betty White, $75 million. White had no legal heirs. The details of White's estate remain a mystery. White's $10.6 million house in Brentwood was sold months after her death. 9. Heath Ledger, $20 million. Ledger's will was outdated at the time of his death. It only listed $145,000 in assets and cash. It also made no mention of his 3-year-old daughter Matilda. Half of Ledger's estate went to his 2 sisters. The other half went to his parents. They gifted it all to Matilda without involving the courts. 10. Robin Williams, $50 million to $100 million. At the time of his death, Robin was married to his 3rd wife, Susan. Most of his wealth was left to his 3 children. Susan took the children to court over his estate. They battled it out for a year, but Susan eventually dropped her claim. 11. Marilyn Monroe, $800,000. $800,000 in 1962 is $7 million in today's money. In her will, she gave $10,000 each to her assistant and to her half-sister. She put $5,000 in a trust fund for the education of her assistant's child. She also left a $100,000 trust fund for her mother. 75% of Monroe's estate was left to her acting coach, Lee Strasberg. The remaining 25% was given to her psychiatrist, Marion Criss.